Now, we're going to interrupt this story as of now and go straight to live visuals of US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who has just landed in Seoul. And these are live shots coming in from Seoul as of now, where top US officials have reached South Korea in a bid to bolster a key alliance in the face of rising challenges from China and North Korea. Once again, these are live shots coming in from Seoul, where US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, along with other top US officials, have just landed. It is important to note that this Asia trip carries great significance since threats from China and North Korea will loom large over the Biden administration's first cabinet-level trip abroad, which is part of a larger effort to bolster US influence as well as calm concerns about America's role in Asia. A senior administration had previously said that US officials have tried to reach out to North Korea through multiple channels since last month, but are yet to receive a response. Making consultations with the reclusive country's neighbors so far only, so that includes Japan, South Korea and China. And this makes this trip all the more critical. And China's aggression in the region as well as North Korea's hostility will be issues that will continue to loom large as Blinken as well as Austin head to Asia. The meeting in Seoul comes amid fresh warnings issued by North Korea recently, and all eyes will be on the discussion in Seoul today as North Korea's nuclear arsenal as well as the ballistic missile program are issues that will be on top of the agenda as a delegation of top US officials arrives in Seoul. These are once again live visuals coming in from Seoul in South Korea, where the US delegation has landed. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin as well as Secretary of State Antony Blinken are the most notable officials who will be part of this high-level cabinet visit to Asia, to Seoul, South Korea in specific. And China and North Korea will be top issues on the agenda, as well as charting out a clear role for America under the Biden administration in Asia. Now, these are once again live shots from Seoul, where US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has just landed and the top US officials have reached South Korea. The aim of this visit primarily is to bolster a key alliance in the face of rising challenges from China and North Korea. Any moment now, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken as well as Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will be landing. And they had just earlier wrapped up the crucial 2+2 talks with their Japanese counterparts. Once again, these are live shots coming in from Seoul in South Korea, where the meeting in Seoul is of high significance as of now, and it comes amid fresh warnings which were earlier issued by North Korea. All eyes will be on the discussion in Seoul today as North Korea's nuclear arsenal and ballistic missile program are expected to be top of the agenda for this high-level US delegation arriving in Seoul as of now. Now, this visit carries special significance because the head of the US Northern Command told members of the Senate Armed Services Committee recently that North Korea could be testing an improved intercontinental ballistic missile soon. And as Austin and Blinken land in Seoul, the conversations are expected to include the threats from North Korea, especially after Kim Yo-jong's recent comments. A day ahead of the Biden administration's South Korea visit, the sister of North Korean leader Kim Yo-jong criticized the ongoing military drills in South Korea. And North Korea previously sent out a stern warning to the US against causing a stink if it wants peace. And experts say that the timing of Kim's comments seems to be well designed, as North Korea now wishes to ensure that this is at the top of the Blinken and Austin agenda when they land in Seoul, which could be any moment now. It is also important to remember that the South Korean and US militaries last week began their latest annual exercises, and Pyongyang views this as an act of hostility towards the North, although this year's event was scaled back due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, along with China's growing belligerence, North Korea's continued threat to the region was also a major topic of discussion during the earlier Tokyo meetings that were held yesterday between the top US and Japanese officials.
As you know, the North Korea policy is under review. We're looking at whether various additional pressure measures could be effective, whether there are.
And that is US Secretary of State Antony Blinken arriving in Seoul in South Korea. He is part of the high-level delegation that is arriving in Seoul as of now. And the key focus will be to bolster a key alliance in the face of rising challenges from both China and North Korea in the region. Moreover, this trip is also designed to chart out a clear role for America in Asia, especially with the new president in the White House, that is Joe Biden. But threats from both China and North Korea continue to loom large over the Biden administration's first cabinet-level trip abroad, which is part of a larger effort to bolster US influence and also calm some concerns about America's role in Asia. And just now, as we can see from the visuals on the screen, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has just arrived in Seoul in South Korea. This high-level delegation was previously in Japan in Tokyo and held meetings with top Japanese officials and are now in South Korea for days of talks as the administration seeks to shore up partnerships with the two key regional treaty allies. Also on the agenda is a meeting where Blinken and Biden's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan will then meet with senior Chinese officials in Anchorage in Alaska later on March 18th. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.